Hello, this is the Sorcerer from Art Against Agony, and you're listening to the Progcast.
Welcome back to the Progcast. I'm your host Dario, and we're at episode 58. It's Wednesday, May 27th, and in case you missed it, last week we had the cool dude, the cool lad, Jim Gray from Caligula's Horse, calling all the way from Australia. That was a really nice chat. We had lots of fun, but we also got to hear a lot of interesting insights about the new album, Rise Radiant, which is out in the meantime. And then, of course, on Monday, 2 days ago, the What's Hot list, as always, with new singles from Haken and Voivod and Frost, for example. Really cool new stuff. Check that out as well if you haven't done so already. Today we also have a Skype call active here, not from Australia, only 2 hours away from here, more or less, from Stuttgart region. We have the Sorcerer from Art Against Agony. How is the Sorcerer doing today?
Hello, everybody. This is Sorcerer speaking. Thanks for the introduction. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's sunny in Munich, but we're recording in the Moonbase studios, so it's we have a nice mood lighting here. As always, we like to start off with the question, what's in your Walkman? So the Sorcerer, what has the Sorcerer been listening to lately?
I've spent a lot of time in the car recently, driving around, and I rediscovered the Kurt Rosenwinkel live Our Secret World album, which is a collaboration with the OGM, a South American kind of a big band brass section. And well, in case you don't know Kurt Rosenwinkel, anyway, go check him out. This is something huge you have missed, and I especially recommend the collaboration with the OGM because that is delightful.
We will do that, and in case it's on Spotify, we will also add it to the Spotify playlist as always. And you can give me a song that we can put into the playlist.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I also was listening to a lot of music, of course, and one cool album that is from 2016, but just got was made available online last week or so. That was something that was supposed to be Stefan Alzar's first solo album, but the title of the project was Billy the Zombie Kid. Stefan Alzar is a songwriter from Sweden, and he's also the main man, one of the two main guys behind prehistoric animals. That's right. So Billy the Zombie Kid, he put that out on Spotify, or I don't know if he put it out only last week or if he just posted it. I just discovered it last week, and it's a cool pop album, like pop with real instruments, that kind of pop, and he's just an amazing songwriter. That would be the one thing, and the other one is a band called Abscission from the United States, if I'm correct, and they put out an amazing EP called... No, the EP is called Abscission, and the band is called Celestial Amber. It's a 3-part, 15-minute EP, and it's really cool, genty modern prog metal, also with saxophone and stuff. So these would be my 2 entries for the What's Hot section. But now we want to know a lot of things about this weird thing that is Art Against Agony.
Weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3 years and about 3 days ago, I was able to see you guys live for the very first time here in Munich at the 8 Below Club. And yeah, a couple of people with masks playing crazy music. Where does Art Against Agony come from? On the website we can read Art Against Agony is contemporary aesthetics applied to music, photography, videography, and performance arts. So yeah, for those who have never heard of Art Against Agony, what is Art Against Agony?
Okay, well that's the big question.
The big question to start off, yeah.
Art Against Agony started as a two-man instrumental duet, basically in and around 2012, and it was me and our first drummer, and basically we had just been infected with Animals as Leaders and Periphery, and freshly gotten in touch with a song called Bleed from Meshuggah. and this sort of set free an Armageddon in our heads, and we decided, okay, we need to do something like that in a way, and also include Kurt Rosenwinkel, of course. And Metamorphosis mutation started right from the beginning, because well, of course, no one needs another Animals as Leaders band, no one needs another Meshuggah band. We already have those guys, and they're awesome, and they're the best bands in the world, we believe, still today. And going from there, we just decided, okay, in order to really do something different, in order to impress people and deliver something fresh and something that is worth checking out there, we need to, well, change some things essentially about the entire game. So first off, we decided that our own names, our faces, our bodies are not really that important regarding to the, speaking of promotional matters and speaking of who is actually doing the music. The cool thing is there is kind of weird, creepy music, but who does it? It doesn't really matter after all, because the internet is full with demos and people's faces and names, and of course you can spend hours and lots of dollars promoting all the names and all the faces, but in the end what people enjoy is good music. So we try to focus on that first and foremost, music, and put everything back in the background. And well, again, starting from there, we quickly discovered that we enjoy music, in fact, but we are doing everything ourselves. So quickly we found people who were very talented photographers, very talented visual artists working on computers, light technicians, sound technicians, and we built up the team basically, and we sort of transcended from a band, how it was kind of envisioned in the beginning. We transcended from there to a state that is today more or less an artist collective. So we have people so we're Germany based apparently, and because this entire idea was given birth to in Stuttgart, in fact. However, now we have people from Italy, in the Netherlands, in Belgium. We have a guy in Japan. We have someone in Russia, and these are all just people who share the overall philosophy of the project. that anonymity is important, and or rather, faces, names, and bodies are unimportant. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And music or art in general is the thing to promote. That's the general idea. What Art Against Agony is all about, I guess.
That sounds very intriguing. I mean, I'm a little bit familiar with that story, of course, since we've known each other for a couple of years already. And as I just said, I had the opportunity to see you guys live a couple of times, like for the first time 3 years ago. But yeah, we were just at the beginning of the project, and then you guys have or Art Against Agony, the musical side of Art Against Agony. There's a couple of releases out there already, starting with the first full-length album, 3 short stories, followed by another full-length album, The Difference Between a Duck and a Lobster, and then 2 EPs. That led to the third full-length album in 2018, Shiva Appreciation Society. Were there any differences in approach to all of these records, or was it more or less the same, like the process of the composing the songs and stuff?
Well, first of all, of course, speaking of 2014, which is the year of our debut release, going all the way to today, as I said before, the collective has grown at large. So we started as a 2-piece thing, and basically we're about 15 people right now, and all of us are, let's call it, contributors. Okay, so all in all, I think every one of us plays at least one kind of instrument. So we have kind of 3 bassists, hordes of guitarists, basically, and we're all that's actually true, and we're all exchanging ideas and contributing. So if you consider the first album a seed, you may already see the second album as a bush, as a half-grown tree, and then you may proceed from there and see that it's just more and more and more influences kicking in over time, and well, hence the sound has changed, in my opinion. We have stayed instrumental so far. But definitely, just talking about influences and talking about composition, we have just taken a lot more voices in over the years and processed these voices into sound.
All right. And well, we didn't just decide to talk today about the history of Art Against Agony. There's of course a new release imminent, and it's a new
Actually,
EP.
yes, yeah.
That will be out next week already.
Next week, Friday. There you go.
And it's called, please pronounce it for me. I never had Latin in school.
Oh, well, Latin, I don't know. It's called Solanaceae. And that's a botanical name, basically. So all kinds of botanical families, all kinds of plant families have these kind of creepy, lengthy names. It's
a thing.
they all have these creepy names, so we just picked this one, yeah.
Yeah. Now the very interesting thing about this release is that it derives largely away from the band sound to a clearly more electronic sound, and I think that a lot of longtime fans were a little bit irritated, I guess, by the first snippets or the first single they got to hear. Tell us about how did it come to the decision that this is gonna be mostly electronic EP?
Well, as I said before, just looking at the history, we've been just taking up members and new influences all the time, and so it happens that amongst us are electronic music fans with musical ideas for electronic music. And although we all agree this kind of EDM is not our main, it's not our main product out there, and we're apparently not masters, and we will never probably tour clubs being DJs, and that's perfectly fine. However, we've over the years gathered a number of ideas in the electronic realm of music, and lots of contributions in the band, and we've just forged them all together and decided to put out the EP. And well, yeah, that's the basic idea.
Yeah, what I had the chance to listen to it already, and what I thought was cool that not in all tracks, but in some of them, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there are real drums at least in there, and that's felt like a really cool enhancement to the electronic sound as is.
Totally right. There is, I think all tracks feature real drums, except from minor exceptions, and that's an idea that we were inspired to do this by a drummer called Jojo Mayer, which you also should check out in case you haven't heard of him, because he is, in our opinion, the kind of pioneer when it comes to creating progressive electronic music in an acoustic environment, non-digital, analog, so to speak. Yeah. He's a drummer, but he's doing electronic music. So that definitely check that out. And we like this sound. We really like this sound, and because we're not very experienced in say electronic music production, so to speak, we're not DJs, we're not turntablists or something like that. So we are a more or less classic band setup. So we, of course, approach this electronic music topic from an acoustic mindset.
Cool. But yeah, staying with the Solanaceae release a little bit. It comes as a vinyl with amazing artwork as well, and maybe you want to talk about the artwork a little bit.
Sure. First of all, it comes as vinyl. That's correct. That's a fan request. We have not been releasing vinyls at all so far, and certain individuals out there have been craving for vinyls. So we just had to deliver that. So that's what we're doing right now. This is electronic music. We're not releasing a CD. We're releasing it only as a digital download or vinyl. So there you go. And about the artwork, Solanaceae, as I mentioned before, it's about botany, it's about plants. Solanaceae is the Latin name for nightshade plants, and it's a concept EP. The entire EP, the titles are arranged around certain plant families or specific plants themselves, and therefore each song has its own picture coming with the EP. If you support us on Patreon, you even get high quality prints of these pictures. If you download it on Bandcamp, you get each song with its own picture delivered, so that's included. Artwork, yeah. And all the artwork is done by our bassist, the Twin. She was hand drawing all that stuff, and made it look kind amazing. Of cartoony. So I really like that, cool. And I think some people out there really will enjoy those prints.
Yeah, and it's also like a perfect a marriage with the vinyl size. Right.
Apparently.
Yeah, you mentioned the Patreon. I also wanted to ask you about that, of course, because that's a cool thing to nowadays to support your favorite artists directly on a monthly basis. Maybe you can tell us a little bit how you approach this subscription-based Patreon thing, and what people can expect to get from you if they sign up for Patreon, from the
Okay.
Art Against
Well,
Agony Patreon. Yeah.
to say it in just a sentence, well, Patreon is a lifesaver because we entered this platform about roughly 1.5 or 2 years ago. Don't remember exactly. And because I mean that's not a secret. That's not an industry secret. Their downloads and physical sales are in heavy decline. No one buys CDs anymore. And that's perfectly fine. However, if you're not a touring band, which is basically half of the year on the road, you are heavily depending on that influx of money, on that merch, on the CD sales and downloads. And if this is no longer happening, then you're really facing a problem over there. So we joined Patreon in order to give fans the opportunity to directly support the band without any middleman. So there's no distributor involved. You are in direct contact with the band. And of course, what you get is there are different tiers, in case you don't know what Patreon is all about. There are different tiers, and then you have a monthly fee, which is delivered to the band or to your chosen artist. And regarding to what tier you're choosing, the more or less services you can get from those artists. So, for example, you start with the lowest tier, that's $5 per month with Art Against Agony, and for that money, you get all of our music that has ever been released as digital download, including the next upcoming release delivered to your door, may it be vinyl or CD or whatever you choose. So say you're listening to this right now and you subscribe to our Patreon page, you can download all of our music and you get the new vinyl EP delivered to your door for $5. That's it. That's a steal. I have to say that's a steal.
It is.
Of course, there's more. So for $10, you get all the music and all that, what I said before, plus all the merch. So you get T-shirts and you get high-quality prints with the EP. $15 will give you free access to all Art Against Agony shows ever to happen yet. There's also something for $50 per month. That's the ultimate Patreon package, so to speak. You'll be taking part in the annual Art Against Agony collective meetings, because the entire collective meets once per year, and as I said before, this is a international endeavor. So people are really flying in from Russia, from other countries, cool. And we meet annually. And you are welcome to participate in this event. You are also being handed over a mask, a painted mask, which is your sort of individual mask then. And well, so on and so forth. You may check out our Patreon site and see all those details for yourselves. This is how it works, and it really helps, I have to say. It really helps artists to survive in a way that we couldn't have imagined before.
Great, and like it gives you a bit more freedom to keep on creating. But I think Solanaceae might not be the only release that's coming from Art Against Agony this year. Is there anything you could tell us about further plans?
Well, of course, the last full-length album is, we released that 2 years ago. So I think we are definitely working on another full-length album. and we're not in the initiation process. We have actually gathered quite some material already. So I cannot, promise. I cannot guarantee that it will be out this year, especially because of the Corona situation and because a tour needs to be involved with the album release. We're not sure if if we can handle it this year.
Yeah.
However, yes, absolutely, we are preparing another instrumental. Definitely partly instrumental new release. Coming hopefully this year, absolutely.
Yeah, it just I just got reminded, or the thought popped up in my head again, thinking about the discography. I've been listening to it the last days again to prepare for this episode, and I was like, well, there were already some electronic songs in the on I think it was it on 3 short stories, Silence in Menzoberranzan?
Yeah, sure. And also the duck on the second album. It's also pretty electronic.
Yeah.
Of course. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? So there's also lots of influences going on, and now we just focused on that particular one of electronic music with the new EP.
Yeah, I just when I was listening to the back catalog again, and kind of rediscovered those songs, I was like, well, if you're familiar with the back catalog, it shouldn't come as that much of a surprise that there's also this side to Art Against Agony, right?
Sure. From an album, from a discography perspective, absolutely. In case you only enjoyed our live concerts so far, then it is a surprise, definitely, because we are mostly a metal focused band when it comes to a live concert so far, and I'm not sure if we're ever going to involve any direct electronical implementations live. That's a totally different thing, and this is just a release, a concept EP, nothing more, but also no less.
You mentioned the live environment that, of course, now is we don't know when it's gonna happen again. But was it last year or 1.5 years ago or so you had the opportunity with Art Against Agony to support Haken for a couple of shows?
That's true, yeah.
How was that? How was that experience? I mean, you went all the way to Florence, I think, and also a couple of German dates.
Yeah, that was unsurprisingly, that was a tremendous experience, because no wonder we're big fans of Haken, and we pretty much enjoyed all the professionalism going on, because it's been our first time that we have really been supporting a band of such level, category, fan followship.
Yeah,
playing big venues, quite generous, nice venues, and experiencing touring from a much more professional perspective. Marvelous. I mean, there's nothing more to say over there. We gained, got to gather lots of new fans, spread our music. Fantastic experience, and also fantastic musicians. Haken themselves, beautiful people. Absolutely.
Yeah, new album coming soon as well.
Sure.
Got pushed back
the virus
two weeks, but yeah, it's coming. Richard from Haken also played a solo on your last album, right? And on the first album, you had Jan Zierfeld from Panzerballett and Jeff Coleman from Cosmo Squad. Is there any other musicians of any instrumental trade, let's say it like that you would maybe you personally now as the sorcerer you would love to have on a future Art Against Agony release?
Well, apparently Jojo Mayer, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm afraid. It's like asking Michael Jackson for a feat. And there's another guy I hope I'm not spoiling anything now, but there's another guy who's called Jeremy Soule, and he is how to explain? He has become famous for game soundtracks, video game soundtracks. So he's more of a orchestral mindset. He's not. He's a piano player, and just a master of let's call him a master of beautiful melodies. So I would really like to see something happening here, and who knows, it's going to happen.
Sounds interesting. I was just thinking about your latest posts on social media, and I was thinking probably your biggest wish would be Alan Holdsworth, but that's also not possible anymore.
Well, Alan, of course, that's, we can spend another 50 hours talking about Alan, so let's skip that.
Actually, I saw him live once in Stuttgart.
You lucky bastard.
You didn't? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
No, just, Alan, just a few words. That's just, the alien. And I guess everyone tries to understand Alan. Everyone worships the music. And at the same point is very much terrified by the music to the same degree, because as you start listening to his tunes, you are kind of sucked into a parallel universe, and you don't know what the fuck is happening. But the bliss which is being released from that parallel universe, no words.
Yeah, I remember going to the concert also not really knowing his music, just knowing the reputation, and it was quite overwhelming, of course. There must have been like 2005, 6, 7.
I see.
Around that time. Or maybe earlier? No, I don't think so. Well, yeah. So a lot of interesting things going on in the Art Against Agony camp, always. Guys, check out their new stuff as well as their old stuff and their Patreon as well. I'm going to link it, of course, in the article on the Progspace. Some of the stuff is really like complicated or complex, but it's still really it's heavy, and it takes you on a energetic journey somehow. So I really hope.
Let's put it that way. In case you cannot cope with the music, you can still, have some nice entertainment going on with the masks and some crazy people jumping around on stage saying nothing at all. So, in case you don't like the music, there's still some nice entertainment going on. So it is worth to check out our shows. Yes, I think so.
It will also be nice just to go out and socialize and have a drink at the bar with your friends.
Sure, we miss that so much.
We all miss that a lot. All right. I think that is pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for the Sorcerer from Art Against Agony for taking
Thank you for having me.
And go check out Solanaceae, the new release from Art Against Agony, coming on vinyl next week. That was the Progcast number 58. Thank you for listening. Thanks to the Sorcerer for taking part in the show. And
thank you.
Take care, all of you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. Listen to awesome music. Talk to you next week with another guest from Australia again.
The Progcast is a production of Stuus Media and is recorded at the Moonbase Studios in Munich. It is produced by Randy M. Salo, Janine Stengel-Lewis, Blake Lewis, Kai Metzner, and Dario Albrecht. Our theme music is by This Is Not an Elephant.